Good evening, everyone. So this is a continuation of the Exalted Masks collection, where you collect 25 masks, and it gives you an Aurelium node for your home instance that you can begin to collect Aurelium every day. And the Aurelium is used for making legendary weapons and other stuff. So it's good to have that coming in. You can be able to purchase chests to be able to open up the chests after the events here also. So there's other things that you can purchase. I'll go ahead and go to the center here. There's other things you can purchase with Aurelium. And it is from this Exalted vendor here. So all these you can purchase with Aurelium, Exalted weapons, and the Exalted weapons, by making all of the weapons, you can get an achievement from that. So there's different ways to get different achievements in the game by finishing out collections. So it's kind of part of the game is to collect different weapon sets, and that's one way that it kind of gets you to do that, and then they reward you with a unique item or something at the end. So for this no masks left behind, I just need to collect the rest of these here. Some of these I don't know if they're locked behind a meta, like I might not be able to get access until an event goes on, so I'm gonna skip that one if that's the case. So the fall somewhere behind the expansive wall of water. And this is number, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 10. We'll be on the western portion of the map. Right here. Looking in this area. And my closest waypoint would be here, the South Watch. And I have to make my way somehow. And these maps are such a challenge because like things don't always match up. And it was made without mounts in mind, so gliders were invented for this, and a lot of it was using jumping mushrooms and air drift upwards and stuff. So having a mount is helpful, but sometimes it can be a little bit more tedious because where a jumping mushroom will give you access to a place to run. You can go either right or left here, and so you can make that decision based on it being on the ground. Whereas with gliding in some of these old zones, you can get really lost because you're not, but at the same time it can speed things up because you want to get a better look. You can also, kind of zoom out and explore down without having to go all the way down. So what I'm looking for, see that goes down there. I'm looking to get up I'm looking to get up over here somehow, so maybe I'll just go from the West Watch waypoint and work down. It might be a little easier than trying to go over those hills. I'm already all twisted up in Auric Basin. Auric Basin is actually a little bit more chill than Tangled Depths. And then Verdant Brink is its own kind of entity. It has its easy parts, and then there's a little bit of confusing metas that go on there that can be a little bit of a challenge to get the hang of. But I think Verdant Brink is rewarding in its own way, and it's also part of making those legendaries, so it's kind of, for me it's been hit or miss if things go on there, and I kind of would like to explore there a little bit more. A lot of the harder going stuff I really never explored. I kind of rushed through it, and I'm a little bummed about rushing through it, but at the same time, having alts and being able to do stuff over again is definitely part of the game. So there's dailies and there's a lot of reasons to do things multiple times. So I opened a exalted. Okay, what's going on here? Vampire beast. These guys are crazy looking. I haven't seen these guys before, really. Maybe I don't remember seeing them.
Then more shinies for all. What do we do with them? Most giver of golden shards takes shiny armor into battle. Through portal is Squid's shop. Buy armors there.
All of you, go to the portal for a shiny armor.
Armors!
Spit talking. So where that tunnel is where I want to go.
Through portal is Squid's shop.
That's a challenging event.
Rising!
I need heals. Let me see if I can do it.
Begin. Come, shiny armor. Stinks of mortar muck. Battle tested.
Might need to be in group.
Fast as the wind.
Armor action. Begin. Next. Here comes next armor. You want a big shiny armor? Here. Oh no! Sold to Safari! Easy, is it? Oh, no, it's okay.
Promise. Modromov will never have me.
I don't know if I can do it.
No fear, shiny armor. Go forward. One armor to break the darkness.
A bummer.
Oh no! Sold to Sabari! It's not crazy, is it? No, no, it's okay.
Calm yourself. Modromov will never have me.
Shiny armor action. Begin. Come, shiny armor. Come here. Ooh, stinks of mortar muck.
one does anything.
Oh no! Sold to Sabari! It's not crazy, is it? No, it's okay.
Calm yourself. Modromoth will never have me.
Shiny armor action begin. Shiny armor. Extra script makes this armor extra shiny.
I'm just sitting here trying to use this.
I chose
Shiny armor action.
protected.
Shiny armor. You rich? My shiny armor. Oh no! Sold to Sabari! Easy, is it?
Calm yourself. Modromoth will never have me.
All shiny armor. Sold.
Yeah? Word. Yeah, I still need number 10 and 24 somewhere down this way, so I'll just turn around here and go up this way. This is over here. I'm not sure, I'm not seeing it. Down here. Oh, maybe I'm looking too far north? Okay. Last year standing. Okay, so I'm a little too far north. I'm closer to 12, so that's what my issue is. I'm not seeing it because I'm not in the right place. Go a little bit farther south here. Should be seeing something in this area. says somewhere in the back, corner back there, but it's probably from entrance down here somewhere. Go ahead and pick up this. Or, and watch out for those pocket raptors. It looks like there's a cave over this way. A lot of pocket raptors. Sketch. Okay, so that's not one. I need to go back and I think the assault's gonna happen here soon, so I might join up for that. Not know how my inventory just I always fill it up. I don't know what I'm doing, and it just always fills it up. Some of these junk items. Probably the same stuff in the bag. Do I have fish? No? No? Okay, that's it. Not happy about the boars. Okay. I'm gonna get over there. I'm gonna try to get over there real quick before. Should be back in this corner if I haven't gotten it already. I probably got it already if I don't see it in here. Yeah, 11. I got this one already. So I need to get 10, which is further down south. It does look like there's an exit this way, so I'll go this way.
We have protected Talir for over a century. It will not fall this day.
I need to make that event. Okay, here's number 24. I'm gonna fight this smoke scale real quick. gonna switch this out to healing turret, and I'm gonna make it over and help out with this event. Go south. Hope y'all are doing good today. I know there's a lot of people out here in the world, and a lot of people are doing different things, and they got their shows, and then they don't got their shows. You know, some people be doing stuff, and some people be participating on the observance of that stuff. And you know, I'm all about being creatives and supporting without getting overwhelmed by the amount of people that we have access to that we didn't have access to, you know, prior to the bird's eye view here and changes. You know, I like the peaceful vibes of gaming and doing stuff as a squad and accomplishing stuff within games on this unique level, as well as entrepreneurship and finding out ways we could be helping one another to make better moves within the reality because of all the changes and not necessarily knowing what's good and what's not. You know, I'm all about leading by example and making use of what we're into and ignoring what we're not, and then, you know, the cream of the crop will rise to the top. My advice as a team leader working online here, you know. That was weird. That's a pretty good burn. I'll be right back. I shouldn't go be right back, but I'll be right back. peasy. Nothing to it. That's how it's done. I had some food cooking. I needed to make sure it was good. I mean, it was in the rice cooker. Can't be not good. Alright, so usually we go in here and cause a little bit of mayhem. So I'm like stacking up on Aurelia, though, kind of low for a while there. Go ahead and use Gleam of Sentient to clear up some room. So I got 44 keys, and I think it's a total of 24. So I can go ahead and just open all these up down here. Total of 24 keys that you get, and then I'll get back to the Exalted Masks collection. I got one right before I started this, so it's kind of on a roll.
Treasure.
Hoping to get reclaimed. There we go, reclaim middle plate, that's what. getting to the point where it's like the silence on my channel is just basically me protesting copyrights. And I'm protesting people not creating their own music. And I'm also on strike for not making music. And that's where things don't make sense. But that's why I'm like, how are musicians getting paid now? You tell me. You know? You have to do the whole copyright stuff. But that takes away from what my intent was with the, you know, in the first place, with gamers and music being able to be shared and played. I was never into the Metallica sensibility of things, you know? I don't know why we went that route after the Napster days. But that's the route we went. And so here we are because we went with Metallica's viewpoint. And a lot of stuff's happened over the years because we just decided to go with some, you know, people's mindsets about how it should be ran when there's a lot more efficient and heartfelt processes that would be able to arise if we just gave attention to people other than just continually paid attention to the same people who have clearly shown what they're here to do and what they are, you know, their intents are. And, you know, unless, you know, people start using the tools in front of us in a different light, then just, you know, taking advantage of the system based on what it was created in its early years and you know, stretching cords real thin based on thinking that that's how it's meant to be for the next whatever, however long, and really it was just a placeholder to get to the next step, and the only thing that's hindering growth is the ability to step down from pedestals of you know, whether it's stardom or you know, rock stardism or whatever it is, and align with your family and friends, and so that they align with their family and friends, and it starts reaching out to a level of equitable give-backs and participation with one another across the world in use of technologies. The technology is the foundational place to stand with the project, you know. Can't do anything without having people having the ability to connect on a virtual sense of things, and so having these games are great because you can really present what I'm talking about on a deep level. It's right here. I'm presenting it through the game, and where it goes from here is up to us and our orchestrations of what we are doing online day to day. So some people, all they have is a Facebook account, and that's all they can show is this is my Facebook account, and that's cool. But what are we doing every 7 days to participate in bettering our lives? You know, not everybody's in the same place. One of the best experiences in life is being able to help others who are in a position of needing help and not wanting to be, you know, a burden, but any help is a spiritual uplifting action. It's an actionable intent for positive alignment when things are not in alignment. You know, when things are out of alignment or they're there's an issue, that's where, you know, it takes a level of participation in making sense of things, and that's also been the challenge because sometimes there's been things that have been coming into play that weren't in play before, and there's been a lot of stuff that may or may not be a good idea, and being involved in it would be something that you have to kind of take those risks and explore that realm for a bit to see if it is or not. But then there's the challenge of knowing that there's certain orchestrations going on where they don't care what you think, and they're gonna just put you in there and then do whatever, you know, with the information and your participation because you signed up to it and you agreed to it, you know, and they orchestrate things in a way that makes it to where you feel like, hey, I'm just going with the flow. And that's how a really good business networking, you know, marketer would do it. And I'm doing my best to align to that because I feel like that's what people want in a flow sense of it, so that they feel like, you know, by being involved that they're going to get involved in that flow, and that flow is going to be, you know, provide success or provide extra buffer income or funds, you know. But I honestly don't know. I mean, it's really, everyone has their different ways of going about life, and the best thing I can do is just maintain my stance and share that if you have a stance and you want to link it to mine, that's two in a, peas in a pod. You get 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, 40, 60 who are doing this stance of presenting oneself with the blog, having a donate button, and then being involved in saying, hey, I'm doing this thing with these other guys who are giving back a percentage of what they're earning through online business. And then if anybody asks what your online business is, that's when you can promote, whatever business that you're part of. And then on the back end, you got your Discord channels and your server spaces, and with those server spaces, you're able to actually make sense of organizing the different channels for communicating ideas of businesses that are out there that you might be interested in or others might be interested in. A place to share your blogs, within reasonable once or twice a month type thing. Um, but as long as you're getting out there and you're meeting other people and you're exploring these virtual spaces too and meeting people in an action-oriented sense, we could start bridging the gaps of feeling like we're disconnected and really making a sense of being really interconnected. And it really just gets back to perceptions and how to make use of the tools in front of us. I'll be right back. Yeah, I went from fighting 1 to fighting 3, and I was having a little bit of trouble there. So what I'm gonna do is switch over to my condition build here and figure this out. I need to go down here. And just for, you know, testing it out here. Much better when you can actually make a dent in there damage-wise. My heal build is definitely set up for healing, not for anything really else. It doesn't really do a punch like it needs to. Maybe it's down here. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it is. But I'll explore. Flax. Another hero challenge. Mithril. Am I in Balthazar's post? Where am I? No, that's down there. It should be right here. I went over it. Be either down here or up. It looks like there's stuff up here. I would think this would be where it'd be, but it's not. So let's see. Across the way to the left. Oh, so much pain, so much pain. My shoulder be spiking always. It's like stabbing into my back, basically. My shoulder blade disconnected a long time ago. Or kind of disconnected. I mean, it's kind of like the joint got dislocated from its original spot, and that kind of struck. Kind of like like struck to where it's been like I've been stretching it, but it doesn't really do what I've been needing it to do in being in balance with itself. So it's like always feeling like you're out of balance just because you're physically literally out of balance, and you just have to accept that mentally because your body is not able to realign itself. And that's just the fact of the nature of it, you know, and it's hard sometimes to accept, but that's just what I have to accept based on the damage of the bone and everything, and not getting the healing in the proper amount of time. You know, technically I should have been getting help within the first 2 weeks to month, that the damage, you know, wasn't healing proper after that. And they're just like, they're just not really, you know, you can say stuff, but it's just, you know, you're not set up for being part of society, then you're expected to slave away for it, but you're not part of it, and it's really hard. It's hard to be here sometimes. After, you know, being alive for so long, and just like, you know, the bear, you know, and I'm not blaming, you know, doctors, because I'm not even really looking at doctors as being the problem. It's more the financial and intents of the people who are participating with the day-to-day commerce, you know, knowing that we have, you know, tools to be able to better experiences simply by just investing in one another to do so. There's all types of people, and all types of work that makes, you know, different things happen. So it's still pretty cool to be here and participating. However much I am participating based on the circumstances. I'd like to participate more. You know, I've never really thought about being able to participate in ways that are mainstream just based on my early start and upbringing. You know, like military or sports. You know, I never really thought. You know, I thought about, like, you know, Olympics when I was younger. You know, that's like a pipe dream. You know, and, oh, it'd be cool to go to the Olympics. You know, become a Michael Phelps for swimming type thing. But really, like, you know, I was more into music, and I stuck with piano for a little bit longer than I did with swimming. I quit swimming at a younger age than I quit piano, and then, like, you know, music and life and just exploring dimensions of directions for participating with y'all has been a challenge in the transitionary influx of computational and you know, technocratical communications and processes and agreements, known and unknown, and where we're going with all these different new tools available. You know, and this is really kind of getting hard for me. Not you know, knowing where, you know, where things are starting or ending. It's just kind of in the twilight zone. It's been twilight zone for many years. In many ways, just because of there's a sense of call and response, and I don't get that. I get the same habitual kind of bypasses from people rather than an actual genuine response based on what's being provided information-wise. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing. I'm saying that things have to settle in their right course, and that everything is in the Most High God's hands, and everything is aligning based on what needs to happen within people's viewpoints and internal natures to align with one another to find new agreements and new ways of making sense of our world and environment beyond older levels of superstition or um, archaic, tribal habitual thought processes that don't serve the greater view of a sustainable and livable future based on the challenges that we know that we didn't know prior to the bird's eye view and these capabilities. So with with great power comes great responsibility, and seeing the amount of changes based on the amount of people that are, being born here, and knowing that there's this need to, continue having babies and populating the earth, but doing it in a way that's actually cohesive to a sensible representation of being man and woman, doing it in a way that actually, and I do know that we've been doing that in many ways, creating different businesses and models that amplify the luxuries or the conveniences to be able to have a better life than living in, like, the woods and in the dirt and the mud, and not necessarily having the type of shelter that we do now. But there's a level of, we're at the really at the beginning stages of that kind of experience, and in many ways it was pushed on a lot of people, and it wasn't necessarily it's not necessarily been the modality for many people. There's a lot of people who didn't have that kind of lifestyle 200 years ago on this side of the continent. It was more living off the land and being in tune with the spirit of the nature of that ethos or that tribe and that vibe of that region and whatnot. But then you got, like, you've had different moves happening from um, different people orchestrating different events, and so things have to change, and nothing really is completely in place, and sometimes it feels like nothing's moving, nothing ever moves, and then all of a sudden everything changes radically and completely. So I'm really excited to know that the radically and completely new change is happening. It's just happening in the Most High God's time and not mine, and it's going to happen the way it needs to, and that's what I know, that's what I'm here waiting for, or being patient for, in so many ways. So nothing but gratefulness, nothing but grace, appreciation. So, whatever it needs to be able to help open doors for, recognizing the kingdom of heaven is each and every one of us. So, the ability to have really chill experiences with one another is based on how we treat one another, especially now that we have, the power of being able to record people and upload it to the web in our pockets. That's big, that's really big. That's not the type of thinking that our elders were going through. It wasn't even in their mind. That's that's that magic stuff, and surfing the web. What are you talking about? That's that witchcraft. You get out of here, it'll burn you at the stake type deal. So, like, we're really in a radical place now, and what we do with what it is a lot to do with our day-to-day, week-to-week, or day-to-day, and month-to-month, and year-to-year habits and communications within those habits. And I know that there's holidays set up by the governments and things like that, and there's orchestrations by the governments to keep things somewhat in tune with a sensible participation with the civilized nature of it. I just know that, if the healthcare is a little off, and the healthcare is a little off within the U.S. especially, then there's always work to be done to better that, and to get more of a sensible care with people, where there's like that genuine actual care, and getting people the help that they need, which helps out a local community and doesn't bring down people within a local community as well, because you're getting, people who are injured the type of physical care that they need for their injuries to be able to help amplify their experience and therefore others around them, rather than putting the person who's in the struggling situation in a state of having to, fight or flight and not being able to fight or flight. So the best thing they can do is just do their best to heal, and you get this, you know, stuck in a cycle of healing yourself, taking care of yourself, and then working to take care of yourself, and not necessarily getting getting the healthcare aspect down fully to where you're actually able to get the healing to where it's healed, and you're not dealing with the pain anymore, and you're not dealing with the you know, dislocation of it, but you're dealing with an actual repaired arm, you know, a functioning arm, functioning, working biological, I don't know, I'm done rambling right now. I get to this point where when I'm looking for something and I can't find it, I get a little bit, flabbergasted. Where is it? Gotta be around here somewhere. And I'm wondering if it's down below and I just missed it, or that's black. I think it's up here somewhere. Oh, okay. It's somewhere this way. And I'm wondering if I can get it.
That was too close for comfort. Here, lean into it.
Ley line. Jeez. You guys are not happy. I think I want to check on the other side. I need to get in from this side. I'm looking in from the back side, and I think I need to go in from the front side here. So I'm gonna wrap around next time. Go all the way down. Just follow the road all the way down. We'll go ahead and use the rolling beetle here. Oh, I wedged between it. Yep. It does say behind the walls. But I don't know how much farther behind you can get from there. If there's another entrance. I'm not seeing one. Aha! Aha! So now I want to go north. Exalted Mask appeared. That was really challenging. Alright, so 3, shouldn't have been that challenging, but it was for me. 3, 6, 9, we all play life differently. 12, so I need 13 and 14 next. So 13, 14 is somewhat up north. I guess I can take the Bristleback Canyon waypoint, or whichever one's closer here. Maybe I can go to just go straight north. 13 and 14 will be straight north, and then oh wait, there is the arrowhead waypoint. There we go. North Watch waypoint 13, and then 14 is down the way. Northwest. Definitely got jumped.
Collect the exalted sender and bring it to me before the magical powers wear off.
Okay. 13. And then 14 is gonna be a little bit this way. Down this pathway. That ink gator is down, so this is one of those events. So being that it's time gated and it's already 10:50 and it's a long day, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, and I'll be back to finish out No Mask Left Behind. And you know, I'm paying attention to chat. I apologize if I'm a little bit harsh sometimes. It's something that, you know, I don't know if anyone's ever heard that, you know, hurt people, and, you know, it's can be a challenge for people who have been hurt not to hurt others if they've been hurt. I'll do my best not to hurt others, but it's hard for me. What is sometimes, you know, like verbally, like what is harmful and not harmful, just based on, you know, life treats you a certain way, and so you kind of do your best to match what life is giving you, and at the same time you do your best not to change it or, you know, consumed or ruined or lost in the challenges, you know, that sometimes bring you down while being alive, and find the good where you can, and make your moments with others for bettering the days tomorrow. But that's the key, is, you know, being interested and open to participating in new ways of being able to do stuff, or being able to better our tomorrows, knowing that there's been a lot of challenges that are have been part of our experience, and there's little things we could be doing with the cloud to start bridging those challenges dynamically, and start building interpersonal relationships through digital virtual space and memes. Okay, y'all, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Have a good evening. I'll be back. If you want to get, you know, integrated with what I'm doing, join that channel, and message your blog in the channel, and I'll check it out. Thank you.
And bring it to me before the magical powers.